All right, welcome everyone. This is going to be a recap ending on February 14th, 2020. Before we get started, just to let everybody know, if you are a member, the new sizing video is now available in the members area under the training tab, training videos tab. And basically what that is probably one of the most important aspects of trading binaries, and that is how to adjust contract size. You've heard me say it. It's very difficult, if not impossible, to trade these binaries, Nadex binaries, on a one contract basis. Okay, you've got to be able to come in and adjust size from time to time, and I'm going to show you some of the techniques and some of the secrets I use in order to do that. I think it's a very good video and something we're definitely going to be practicing now that it's released. We'll be going over it now in the chat room, and hopefully we can get everybody to get that perfected, and you're all going to really start watching your accounts grow. Okay, so that being said, let's take a look at this week. Another pretty average week, I would say, pretty much in line with what I would expect. Had no losing sessions this week. It was a good week as far as that was concerned. We had some really good days. Some days started off kind of choppy. You could see my first wins on the trades were a little bit low, 70%. I mean, still respectable, but I like to see it in the 90% range. That means the very first trade out of the gate for every session I trade, I look at that very first trade and I record it whether it was a win or a loss. I used to do very well just trading that very first trade. That was one of the important strategies that I used way back when. I'd put size. I still put size on that first one, not as big as I used to, but I'd always put size on that first trade because it always seemed that they hit at a very high rate. And it's still hanging in there at 70%. So that's a little low, actually. So I'd expect that to start coming up the next week or two and start hitting, get that back up into the 90%. 90% range. So anyway, as you can see, no losing sessions, pretty much on par with what I would expect. Didn't quite hit my $500 objective every day. A lot of that had to do with me just being busy, working on the new video, getting that done, and working with clients. And also the other thing is I'm trying to limit my exposure in the chat room in the morning to just a few hours so I can work more with my students and answer questions, emails, and so forth. I'm just getting more and more busy, so I really have to limit my time in the chat room. So I'll be in the chat room, from 8 a.m. Central Time till 11, and then I'll be back at night to trade for 2 hours. So plenty of time for me to be in the chat room, answer your questions, and so forth if you are a member. And of course, I always trade live in chat. So let's look at our naked signals for the week. Once again, very nice percentages. I'm sure if you watch prior videos, you understand what this is. What this means is that I trade the PAP pattern. That's mainly what we trade in the chat now. There are several patterns. I do point them out. We have, of course, the delta, and we have the pairing, and we have other patterns. But mainly this is the one that I trade quite a bit. Is the PAP pattern. And what this means when I say it's a naked trade, a naked signal, means if it comes up and it says the next bar is a buy or the next set of strikes is a buy, I log that whether I'm able to get into it or not. A lot of time it is based on premium, but you can see the win ratios are still very high without using any kind of filtration. Some of the techniques that I show in chat to improve on these numbers, but still, you're starting off with some really high probabilities right out of the gate. If you know absolutely nothing about trading, just follow the setups and gives you a big edge, okay? On the daily setups actually did really well. So there's now finally starting to come and pay off. Had a really good week. I'm not going to post them here. If you're on my email list, there's an email that goes out with these results as well. And in there is a link, and you can see all the daily trades. And you can also see which of the pairs are performing the best. So I'm slowly starting to narrow it down. I probably will end up trading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 or 7 out of the 10 pairs, which is still pretty good. But by and large, It's coming back and coming back strong. I've also started tracking other patterns on the daily signals as well, and those are posted, so you're going to see some new patterns there as well that I'm following on the dailies. I figure with another several months, I will have narrowed it down, and not only narrowed it down, but I figured out how to actually adjust contract size, which is a real important part of trading these binaries. But anyway, it's probably going to be very similar to what I'm doing on the 5 minutes, because the setups are the same, the pattern is the same. It's just that the dailies do act a little bit differently, different kind of premium. So that's going to have to be considered before I add any kind of size. So right now I'm just tracking the single contracts. So I don't need to make a real long video today. The most important thing is the sizing video is out. Important that everybody learn how to do that if you're a member. If you're not a member, if you purchase the course strategy, you will get that. You'll also be able to watch that video as well, with all the videos that I've produced up to this point. Plus, you're also going to get 1 free week in chat. Gives you plenty of time to come in, watch me trade, ask me questions, and so forth as you practice this. My approach to trading, my methods, and there's plenty of other members, very successful members in chat that you can also be trading along as well with. And it doesn't take long to pick up. My method is believe it or not, it's very simple, but it does work. And all that is explained in the videos, not just, hey, this is what it does, this is why it, I explain the reason behind the patterns, and not only why they work, but why they should continue to work. And I certainly show you that with chart examples, and you'll be able to go back and see it for yourself. That what I'm showing you is what I feel probably the best way to trade, not only binaries, but any market for that matter. And you will be convinced once you see it, and it is unique. Nope, you're not going to find this in any book. This is not a repeat. You see a lot of junk out there, a lot of people just repeating and saying the same thing. That stuff doesn't work. I use no indicators. The behavioral patterns that I use are unique. These are not in books. These are not standard. These are not candlestick patterns. These are not, typical head and shoulders, trendline patterns. Nothing to do with any kind of indicator. These are very unique. Something I've discovered over my last 38 years of trading, and it does work, and it works across the board. So anyway, that's it. Please, if you want to get the update and get the email on this, you can just go to my website, binaryprostrategies.com. Provide me with your email address. I'll make sure that you get also these weekly updates, which will also include the link so you can take a look at the daily setups. Daily setups are included with the course strategy, so as long as you are a member of the chat room, not only will you be able to join me twice a day in chat, but you're also, every night I'm going to send out the daily signals. You'll be able to get those as well, free of charge. That comes as part of the package of being a monthly member. If you'd like to see my stats on a daily basis, you can go to Pro Strategies at Instagram, and we'll get you set up that way as well. And I do put out my daily results, how much I made, my overall win rate, and I usually include one of the charts so you can kind of see some of the action for the day. So that's it for this week. I'll be back next week, and look forward to digging more in this week with all our students on learning how to adjust contract size. Anybody have any questions? You can leave them below, and or go to my website. There is contact information there. Shoot me a question. I'll be glad to answer them for you. Everybody have a great week, and we'll see you, let's see here, for new students, for any student, we'll see you Sunday night, but the next recap will be, I'll send it out next weekend. Y'all take care.